Welcome back to Planet Zoo, where to celebrate us hitting 50,000 subscribers, we're going to have an extra long episode with loads of new enclosures, plus we're going to be giving away 5 copies of Planet Zoo. To enter, all you need to do is leave a comment down below saying you would like the game, leave a like on this video, and make sure you're subscribed. Let's get into one of the 4 time lapses we have today. So we start off today with a time lapse that is well overdue. We decided to finally make a little food court area. I just had the different random stuff before. I thought, no, now we're gonna actually do it, and here we are. It's kind of weird because this was like in between the Arctic area and the African area, so I thought, let's go for neither and let's make it completely random. I just sort of made it like a very generic looking building, and I was very happy with it. I wanted to really customize it and make it something that no one else would have built before, so I sort of added in loads of different materials and stuff and used some like planks rather than just using the regular old walls along with this glass, and I think it looks pretty good in the end. Had a bit of a struggle with the roof, but we got it sorted, and then we started working on the inside, trying to like add some stuff to make it look nice and different. Oh, and yeah, we got some toilets in here as well. This is a very multi-functioning building right here. Surprisingly, after this, it didn't actually fix my hunger and thirst problem in the park, as people still are on like 60%. So I think I just need to add more around the park. We've already got so many, but we just need to add more. The demand is there, so I think we'll have to like sort of add some a bit further on, like towards the jungle section of Africa, and maybe a few more in the Arctic place as well, as there's people there complaining all the time. But I also added like a nice picnic bench outside as well, and just sort of did some decorating. Lovely. So here it is, the new food court with built-in toilets as well. We're actually sitting down at the benches, which is awesome. Hopefully this will meet people's food needs. Fortunately, people are using this area over here as just sort of a weird viewing platform for the giraffes. It's not the best view, but you can kind of see in the background. Idiots, what are you doing? I bet they're like, the views of the giraffes from here is so bad. But either way, we're going to move straight on, as you'll notice here, there's a big gaping space. And I thought, maybe I could actually have an enclosure here, because if you look, the entrance to the park, you've got to walk quite a long way till you come to your first animal. Like over here, it's all the way to here. So I thought, maybe I'll put an animal here. And I was thinking, aardvarks, because they don't need much space. You can only have up to 2 of them. Guests can enter the habitat, but we're not going to let them. And I thought, you know what, that'd be quite a nice like sort of small starter animal for here. Also, please don't inbreed. Too late, they're already pregnant. Stupid giraffes. Just waiting for it to stop raining first. I also forgot to mention I hired a 3rd keeper for the flamingos as they kept starving. Oh, cool. It stopped raining and it started snowing instantly. Alright, let's get building. So you may remember in the Arctic area we had a lot of enclosures, the reindeer and the Dall sheep in particular, where you could actually have like the actual fences as the enclosure so people can get closer to the animals and stuff like that. Unfortunately in Africa, a lot of the animals will kill you, so I decided here is a perfect opportunity with these lovely aardvarks to have an enclosure with a fence around it, a bit more natural looking in my opinion, and definitely more aesthetically pleasing. And unfortunately, aardvarks have a limit on how many plants, so I had to be very careful with what I used. They also needed hard shelter, which I didn't realise at this point until way too late, and then I was like, oh, I'm an idiot, they need hard shelter. So I actually had to sort of like make this sort of custom weird hard shelter, which I added in. And luckily, because the maximum they can have in there is 2, it didn't need to be massive. So I made this sort of like custom shelter, as you're seeing right now. Great thing about aardvarks is they will hopefully bring in a decent amount of money, and they're so cheap to feed. So we can get working towards the end of the episode, where we're going to actually try and have the polar bears, as it was the most voted. I'm very scared that it's going to bankrupt me, but it's a risk you gotta take when you make these Planet Zoo videos, eh? We gotta live a little. And although it's hard to see, our money is like in the 700,000 range at the moment, which is nuts, and we're just making a load of money, which is unusual, but I'm liking it. So I had to make some few changes. As it turns out, aardvarks are pretty shy and get quite stressed. So basically I had to add this one-way glass in here so that they wouldn't just constantly be upset. And it seems to be working now. They're bringing in some money, as you can see here. And I'm not gonna lie, they're actually kind of cute, even if they have got weird noses. And our finances are looking pretty stable for once. As I tell you that, we start not making any money whatsoever. Oh no, here we go. We've just won a t-shirt from the community prize, yeah. Seems to be a lot of crowds in this area here. People not really getting anywhere, which is a shame. But oh well. Wait, 3 animals have died? Oh my gosh. Oh, my Dall sheep just died. That's sad, I'll have to buy some more. But money-wise, we're doing pretty good. Somehow, despite one-way glass and signs to be quiet, the aardvark is still stressed. But last year we only made 33,000, so getting polar bears is going to be a bit risky at the moment. So right now, I don't know what's happening. The market's completely broken, which means I can't buy any new animals. So while the animal trading is still being very dodgy, I decided to make a new little water shop over here, just a pip shop water. Pretty quaint, right next to the cheetahs, sort of out of the way of the other stuff here, hoping that we can get some more people to move over and buy some stuff. As at the moment, everything's quite just centered around the food court, where a lot of the things are shut. Vendors are being lazy. Get back to work. All the shops are shut. What the heck? That one's shut as well. This one's open. And that one's shut. That one's open, I think. Shut. What's going on? I am going to make some actual stations at some point as well for this train thing. I think when we get the polar bears in a second, we can actually work on adding another station over here, maybe. Hey, people already queuing up for pip shop water. Nice. I'm actually going to duplicate this shop and have an identical one over here as well, just to sort of spread these out a little bit, have a few more of these around the park. I've got this pip shop water over here, which is being used. However, other than these ridiculous Goliath beetle things here, which, where even are they? There's nothing over here. So, we're going to build some monkeys. We're going to build like a little monkey enclosure here. Might even have like it go over the top of the tracks here. I think that could be quite a cool little design. So that's what we're going to get working on right now. I know, a lot of animals in this video. We're going to have aardvarks, we're going to have monkeys, and we're going to have polar bears. Saving the best to last, of course. Before we get building, I just made some big work zones for the vendors. And since then, our money is shooting up because if you look, now every vendor's got a work zone where they're assigned to, and I've actually added in more vendors than we need for each zone, which means the shops are constantly open. As you can see here, every shop is open in there. These shops are all open, as you can see. These ones here, even these ones over here. And the ones in the Arctic village as well, which means we're making a load of money. I'm going to run it out for a year and see how much we make just from shop income alone. Guest happiness is up, hunger and thirst is up. Still orange though. Alright, so end of the year, and our income hit 100,000 that year, with 45,000 from shops, which is up from 39,000, but the year before that, it was like 25,000, so that's a massive improvement. Can't believe I've been not doing that this entire time. Anyway, on with the monkeys. So I decided to have some mandrills in this little section here, and the good thing about these monkeys is you don't actually need a barrier around the edge entirely. You can use water, so I opted for that in this occasion. I also sort of really adjusted where the rails went and stuff because I was really struggling to build them over the top of the rails. I thought, no, it's not going to work, I'll just move them along. And what you don't know is that from when I started recording this to now, it has been 2 days because my animal trading was so messed up. I had to uninstall Steam and the game about 3 or 4 times to get it to work. It's taken me literally like 7 hours of working on this stupid stuff, which is why this time lapse might be a bit glitchy and some stuff might be missing. Like at one point, loads of trees will just randomly appear, and I'm sorry about that. But eventually I got it working and I got the mandrills in so I could start working on how many trees and climbing things I could need if I needed hard shelter. As you can see here, there's been a hard cut and now there's trees in there. You can also see me making some custom hard shelter here because they do need a little bit of hard shelter, but not too much, so I just made this sort of like funky little African looking thing here. Now we get to see if people actually like it. Now here's the problem. When people get here, they love it. Like, look at this dude. What an amazing place. He loves it here. But the problem is, it's really far away, so not many people are making their way up here. But I love these guys. Look at this guy in the tree all the way up here. Oh, they're so cute. So, so cute. And I'm really happy with this enclosure. This is the water thing I meant, where it's sort of like you don't need an actual big barrier as they can't get over this water. And you'll notice in the bottom left, look at our money. We're millionaires, baby. Yeah, zoo millionaires. If you look, we made 100,000 last year, and we're set to make a lot again this year, which should mean we can have polar bears and them not bankrupt us. Because that's right, we're going to move on to the polar bear enclosure over here, the Arctic zone. It's been a while. I've missed you, old buddy. We're probably going to have to adjust this rail at some point as well. Maybe weave it in a bit more. We're also going to add an extra few stations in. One is going to be over here for sure, because I kind of want people to get off and have a look at the monkeys and stuff. One is going to be on the other side of the polar bear enclosure over here as well. And this polar bear enclosure has to be a massive, so it's going to take up a lot of space here. And hopefully not completely bankrupt us, but we'll find out. I guess we should probably just get working on it. Oh boy, this enclosure took a while to build, like literally 3 hours. You'll notice here, I'm constantly checking how big the borders are. The first time I checked how big the border was, it was 27,000 meters squared. You only need 7,000, so I went a bit excessive, but then I tried again, and I think I got it pretty accurate on this time. In fact, at the end, you'll see it works out absolutely perfectly. I have just the right amount of water and just the right amount of land, so I've done a pretty good job here. Now, as you can see, I'm doing an underwater viewing section here, which was a bit tricky at first, just trying to get the water to work with how this construction works around here, but eventually I just had to hide some of the barriers with rocks a little bit. Also, this first pass here, I think I actually looked at the dimensions and I was way off, so I actually changed it straight away, and that's when I got the perfection I was talking about earlier. Now, one thing I did struggle with this enclosure, which you will see a bit later on, is trying to get the power and the water treatment to work in the center of the enclosure. Now, I actually had to adjust some of the power and the water sections, as you can see here, and add one sort of in the middle of the enclosure almost to try and make it work. And I actually did eventually get it to work pretty well, so the entire enclosure is covered, and we've got coolers in there to keep the snow down, and it ended up looking all right. I thought I was really going to struggle with the amount of trees and stuff I was going to be allowed to use, but in fact, you can use so many trees in this. I had no idea how much coverage you could actually do, and I didn't even get close to the limit with the amount of stuff that I added in here, although I did get quite close to the amount of floor and water limit that the guys needed, which was a shame, but we got it figured out in the end. And as much as I like building new enclosures, one thing I really don't like is adding in like all the different facility things that you need, like the screens and the speakers and stuff. It always just seems to take forever, and I just start to struggle with it, and I just get really bored as it's very repetitive. But we got them all in anyway. It was a bit of a struggle with one side of this. As you can see here, there's just loads of speakers and boards around, but in the center of that little circle thing there, we've got a nice little board as well. And honestly, this may be one of my new favorite enclosures. It's massive, but I like it. Oh my gosh, polar bears are so cool. Look at these guys. They're loving life. They're actually using this divider thing, which is awesome as well. I love them. And it's snowing now, which is perfect. And guess what? Our money is doing better than ever. I don't know how, but it is. Is anyone actually looking at these guys? There's some people over here, some people over here. There's so many viewing points for these dudes that it's kind of tricky. Some people were using this bit over here, which is awesome. Let's hope they have babies. They're running. Look how much space they have. Oh, I love it. I love them. You may have noticed I also traded out about 500 flamingos as we got up to about 100 in here, and now there's only 52, so we traded out a load of them because they were just constantly starving. Speaking of which, I've been constantly selling these beetles as well. I'm making some big money, look at that, lovely. But there you have it, the polar bear enclosure with this sort of like little section in the middle, which I'm so glad that they're using to swap over the pools. Look at him go, yeah. This enclosure's so big though that you just kind of lose them. Where's the other one gone? Oh, it's all the way over here. So next episode, we're going to work on the train and hopefully have a station just here. I think it was going to have one where we're going to hopefully get some people to hop off and come look at the polar bears. And then we're going to work on this section here where we're going to have some other African animals, as I think we've got every Arctic animal in here. Although we could have some timber wolves maybe. That could be quite a fun enclosure to put in the central section here. But either way, we've got 3 new enclosures this episode, and I'm happy. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you for 50,000 subscribers. I really do enjoy making these Planet Zoo videos, despite the problems we had recently. So if you could leave a like and comment and vote in the poll on what you want to see next, that would be awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.